Hello everyone, Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo here again for Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. I promised I'd be back with some content for Star Citizen. I figured I should do it as soon as possible. There's a lot going on over the next month or so, and much of that is going to have to do with the Evocati getting 3.18. Am I excited? No. I'm still excited about the game, or I should say I'm still supporting the game. I don't know about excited anymore because I really don't feel like the timeline fits a game that I feel like I'm going to be playing in the next year or so. Though I'm going to have to continue my channel. So I jumped into the game over the last 2 days and I must have played about 8 or 9 hours. I started on my secondary account, which is Cosmic Cat. I moved over to my real account, Batgirl. And I tried quite a number of different types of missions, and I had multiple errors, multiple crashes, I had a lot of things going on. I had a friend that stayed with me for about a month. She had her daughters here, and one of them was playing Roblox on my big PC, my gaming PC, which I don't really use that often right now because work has taken me away from being able to play in a way where I could lock myself in my studio and record. So most of my games have been played on my Mac connected to a 1 gigabit internet connection and using the wonderful, actually, I'm going to say it's wonderful, NVIDIA's GeForce Now. So what happened with the computer was there was some kind of major bug inside of it, and essentially I had to figure out what was going on and fix the registry and all sorts of things, and finally got into playing the game and not having any crashes happen today. So I played for about 4.5 hours straight. I did have a couple of game bugs that stopped me from having a great time. I still had a good time, but I did have an enjoyable time, and I was able to see the differences between me playing last year and me playing this year. It isn't often that I jump into Star Citizen, and I'm going to tell you why. 9 years I supported this game, and if you go back over those 9 years and find a time when I was actually very consistent with my videos, you'll find a lot of those videos were questions and answers coming from Ben Lesnick, who was the community manager at the time, interviews with people like Chris Smith and Brian, and of course Chris Roberts and Sandy Roberts, and well, there were many videos. David Haddock. The problem is a lot of things that were being said in those videos and questions that were being answered just didn't come to pass. Now, some of them couldn't come to pass and would never have come to pass because things like persistence is broken, and questions that I'm thinking about all have to do with being able to manage your organization through the RSI website. That just doesn't happen the way it was supposed to. But there were also timelines about when certain features were going to be out, when the game was not going to be live but have multiple systems in it, and it just didn't happen. And I was really serious about doing my videos, and then I sat down after reading a lot of the comments, and I started going back through my videos, and what I found was there were a lot of things, a lot of information that were coming off of my videos that just wasn't coming true. And I felt bad, right? I felt like I was taken. I got angry, and I started playing other games, right? I started playing survival games, Valheim, Satisfactory. I started playing games like Kingdoms and Castles, Conan. I started playing Sub-Zero, whatever it's called, Subnautica Below Zero, Subnautica 1. Just No Man's Sky, having a great time in that game. And I started to enjoy myself playing games again, and most of those games could be played on my Mac through GeForce Now, and that's what I've been doing. And even when I go into Star Citizen and come back, I feel, oh my God, this is great, but then I look at what they're promising, and, you know, I don't know. I mean, last year, CitizenCon, even though it was virtual, the sizzle reel, whatever you want to talk about, the demo that they did with Pyro was amazing. We still don't have it. And we are bred to make mistakes, or we've been behavioral modified to make lots of excuses for CIG. And I don't know if I want to do it anymore. It's one of those things where I just don't know if I have it in me to keep on being misled. I don't think I'm being misled. You know, what the God's honest truth is, I think that CIG really believes that things are going to be out at a certain point, and they really believe that they could tell you that those things are going to come to fruition. And when they don't, we've been let down before. They've got us into this, vicious, or into the cycle where every time they just let us down, they just give us something else, like a brand new ship. But there's so much in the game that's still kind of like half there. Like salvaging is coming out, finally, thank God. And if it's anything like mining has been, I think it's going to be wonderful. And I think that's going to really make me like the game a little bit more. But things like food, right? It's like in the beginning, food was supposed to be something that you could craft or you could buy, and it was going to have all these different stats on it. And yes, you might have to keep yourself fed, but at least something was coming from it. And food is just something that gives me the same kind of anxiety that I would have if I was driving an electric car on a 300-mile trip and only had a 225-mile range and didn't know where I was going to find my next charging station. And yes, I support electric cars. I'm going to get one, but I'm just using something that it makes me feel like, right? There's games that throw food in there because they don't know what else to throw in, and I feel like that's just here. I have exploration ships, a fleet of them. They keep releasing and making us buy exploration ships. And it's not in the game. It doesn't make sense to me, right? And and ships that we could use right now, like the Hull C, which is coming, thank God. The Banu Merchantman, which is coming, thank God, are not in the game, and they would thrive in the game that we have now. And thank God we have lots of fighters. And, if you're going to give me something like a Scorpion, I'm going to suck that thing right up because it looks like an X-Wing, and I think it's wonderful. So I'm kind of a hypocrite at times, but I really just feel like I couldn't. And I hope that I can still, but I couldn't give this non-bias and transparent, open and honest critique of any of the updates anymore. But what I can tell you is that even with all the frustration I went through today, 85% of it my computer, not Star Citizen. And the 15% that was Star Citizen, I wanted to throw a rock at my computer monitor, but still, it was things that we've been dealing with from the beginning, like you put a box down on your raft, and I kind of forgot that you can't put it right outside the elevator because it will fall through the floor. Or you try to put a box inside one of the vending machines that are going to receive it so you could end or collect your payment for delivering it, and the box gets stuck in your hand and you can't get it out. Or you walk out of your ship on top of a building to deliver a box. You deliver your box, you come out and you see the wind has just blown your ship off the building. I mean, that one just made me absolutely laugh. But I finally got to a point where I played for hours straight, and I was playing in this, which is the 125, the Origin 125, and I had a great time. I did some light cargo runs, I did some box runs, and I had a good time. So am I looking forward to like what's going on, what's coming out from CIG right now? Yeah, I am. Am I holding my breath for anything? No, I won't. I'm going to listen to everything they say, and I know what historically has come to pass. they put in something really big, it's broken, everything crashes, and it stinks for a while, and then it gets fixed. Or at least it gets somewhat fixed, and you can still play it, and you have a playable game. So I'm kind of looking forward to a couple of things. I know that Turbulence is going to be working on many star systems, and the first one what we're going to get is going to be Pyro, so that's going to be different. It's going to be new. Then we're going to get Nyx. I'm just hoping that we're going to get systems like Orion. We're going to get systems like Goss, maybe even Terra. I know that won't be harder because it's so much more populated. Bremen. I mean, I just want to see more of this universe. I've been covering it so long. It's been on my hard drive so long. Other games have already come out with their second and third iterations. You look at a game like No Man's Sky, which came out as a giant piece of cow dung and is now one of the best games that you could play. I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen now. But there is something that's starting to catch my eye. Okay? And that's the game engine. Everything still looks great. The ships are wonderful and beautiful. But after playing X-Plane 12, which I love, absolutely feel is a great game, and then going to something like Flight Simulator, there's a huge difference. With the introduction of new game engines, especially Unreal 5, are these graphics going to hold up when the game finally comes out? They'll probably be good enough. I mean, with all the things they're trying to do with this game to make things be more realistic, the way people move, the way people talk, what they're doing when they're not talking to you, I think it's going to have a next generation feel, at least in the way things happen around you. But I'm starting to look at the graphics and go, when this game finally comes out, when there's finally all these star systems to go to, how's it going to look? Now, I know maybe it's not too hard for them to start implementing other new technologies in the engine because they have moved to DirectX 12 and Vulkan, I believe, right? Isn't that true? And if they have, that means the engine could be updated along the way. But does that hold them up from bringing out the game if they have to keep on making those changes over time? I don't know. So I have an idea. I am going to talk about updates as they happen, but I want to do something a little bit different this time. I want to bring you into my gameplay. And I'm going to do that by using my secondary account, by using my alt, Cosmic Cat. I think that will be interesting because people like the videos I do for X-Plane and Flight Sim when I just talk and I tell stories about things while I'm playing. And I think that's going to be the way that I get back into it because I did realize something at the end of the 8 to 10 hours of frustration. And that is, I like playing this game. I know, like some people are masochists. Maybe I'm one. I don't know. I doubt it. I don't like pain. But I think in this situation, what's here and what works, in my opinion, for me, for Nicole, Zoe D'Angelo, it far outweighs the parts that are giving me pain. And with the implementation of the clouds, these volumetric clouds, with the rivers, with the updates to each one of the starships as time is going on, with added gameplay elements, with the brand new, which I had a really great time with, the derelict ships, I think there's a lot here. Yeah, it's not a finished game, and I don't know if it ever will be. I can't imagine it ever being. And that's a good thing for me, because I'd rather have a game that doesn't have an end date of being done than a game that's going to get constant updates. Yes, I know. Where we're at right now sucks. It's horrible. And we've been waiting forever for just small things like ships that we bought years ago. I am so sorry to the Endeavor purchasers, to the Banu Merchantman purchasers, to the Hull series purchasers, to the Polaris purchasers, which was 6 years ago, and the other ones longer than that. I am so sorry to you all, because it's not fair. It's not fair to have those pieces of the game done. It's not fair to have spent that much money, $2,700 on a Javelin, and you can't fly it. I'm sorry to you all when I say that. I really am. But I like what's here. I'm having fun. Yeah, I get angry at times. Yes, I want to call up my friend and yell at her and make her get something done about this game, but I can't, because I guess I like what's here. I hope you all understand where I'm coming from. It's been a very long time that I've been part of this culture, the Star Citizen culture, the Star Citizen community. And I've been hiding for the last 2 years, putting out a video once in a blue moon because I don't know what to say anymore. But what I do find is when I don't think about what I need to say, I enjoy the game. And that's how I'm going to handle it. And this is going to be key for me continuing these videos, is going to be to find the enjoyment that I have in them and to let it wash over me. And to find people that feel the same way as I do and play with them. And hopefully the enablers start playing again. That's our organization. And if they don't, I'll go out and find other people to play with. And in the meantime, also spreading my gameplay over other games instead of just immersing myself in this is going to be important. All right, we're at 17 minutes and I really wanted this to be the end of the video. Oh my God. This blew me. Maybe it doesn't blow you away, but I fly in real life, right? I'm a pilot. And oh my God, they got clouds so well. I'm not saying they're perfect, but in this game, it's done very well. Batcat's going crazy today. She wants to be around whenever I talk. But I really think that this looks amazing. Now, I am fortunate that during the whole mining, oh my God, mining just went bottom up, I was able to pick up a 6800 XT Red Dragon by Power Color. And yes, I know you can tell me NVIDIA is better. I don't care. I'm not paying NVIDIA pricing anymore. But I can't believe how gorgeous this looks. And look at this. Here comes another ship. It's a Cutlass. And I wasn't botching this landing. I was making it last as long as I could to see it from inside and outside to see how it looked. And I think it's this that makes me love what Chris and his team are doing. Yeah, we should have had this a long time ago. Yes, there's no excuse that could be given, and there should have been apologies made long ago. Maybe there were. I've been out of touch with many of the things. I've only started listening to the CIG videos, podcasts, or YouTube shows just over the past few days. I can't believe the wind is still pushing me around down here, and it just stopped over there, so that was pretty easy. You know, this Origin 100 that I've had, I think this is the 125, turned out to be a really good ship. There's so much good going on in this game right now. I hope that it lasts. But I'm going to talk about one last thing. I wanted to end on a good note, but I'm going to end on some concern that I have. I watched one of the videos that they had this week, and they were talking about bringing out the new persistence model, persistence engine. Now, I met Benoit in the past. I think he's amazing, and I think he explained it very well. That this could break everything. It could work. It could be the end all be all, but they're still going to implement it in phases. But when they gave the analogy of lifting a skyscraper up 150 feet in the air and then digging out the foundation, pouring a new foundation and putting the skyscraper back on it, all I kept on thinking about is everything that could go wrong. And what a great video I'm going to have in about a month or two when this actually goes live. I think that is going to be fun. Anyway, we got a lot going on. We have October 8th, which I think is 2 weeks from today, is going to be, yes, it is, another virtual CitizenCon. Hopefully next year it could be live. And then we should start getting into the holiday season, which means more Star Citizen events in-game that we could talk about and that we can join as a group. Well, that's my video for today. I didn't want to be salty anymore because honestly, I'm salty when I stop playing and I get frustrated, but when I start thinking about everything that went on in the game, I have to say that I actually had fun. So I'm taking more time to do these videos so I actually talk about what I see, what I feel, and what is actually happening in game. It's easy to just go through all of the updates that are coming out from CIG, but I did that for years, and most of the things you talk about generally don't come to fruition. So I don't want to talk about them anymore. What I'm going to talk about is what's here, not what's coming here. And when I do talk about what's coming here, it'll be at the events, okay? All right, so if you like this video, click the thumbs up button below. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification icon so you get notified. I know you're not going to believe me yet because it's only been 3 videos, but hopefully in the next 3 to 5 weeks, you start believing me and knowing that I'm back for good. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon.